family, again, Melanated Convo Podcast. Hit the like button, subscribe, become a member of the family. If you ain't done that yet, you plan. So now, first things first, Sonia. We both had the opportunity to view the movie Emancipation, Will Smith's biopic, or it's based on a true story of a gentleman named Peter, I think his name is. This is the gentleman, Peter or Gordon. I was reading some accounts that said it could have been either of the two names.
Oh, wow.
But this is the gentleman who a famous picture was taken of him because, you know, his treatment during slavery times and how he was able to escape several times. His actual back was the picture. Looking at a visual picture of his back was really graphic how it looked. So they took this picture, told the story of this gentleman, you know, and this is a film shot in like the 1860s. It's a time period piece. So, Sonia, looking at this movie, the first thing you see when you see Will Smith, we know that's our brother, great actor, you know, going through some things lately, but nonetheless, that's a great actor. Has been doing a lot of great work over the years. When you first seen this movie, what did you think?
First off, when I was elated that the story of Peter or Gordon, that's the first time that I'm hearing Gordon, but the story of Peter being told, I was extremely elated. Like the visual of that picture, and granted, during this time period, we have to take into consideration from a historical perspective, as Black folks were crossing over to the North Side to fight in the Civil War, we want to make sure that we understand that there were, and I don't want to say that there were white folks in the North who were 100% against slavery, but they knew that something had to change in the dichotomy of and the capitalist way that we were dealing with human life. And so with that being said, there was a urgent movement to document. And so part of the documentation of slaves when they were emancipated, or slaves when they made it to the free side of this country, was by photography and by taking personal statements. And so I was extremely elated. I think it was about a year ago when I heard that this movie was going to be produced. I'm a fan of Will Smith's artistry, and coming from where he came and from the industry, from where he, you get them naysayers and you just a rapper, or you just this, you can't cross over and do these kind of things. And so he's made strides in lots of movies. And so when I think about the time period, I don't care if the story has to do with the topic of slavery. The story of Peter was more than him just being a slave. The story of Peter was his perseverance to make it to the other side. The story of Peter was the promise that I'm coming back to get my family. The story of Peter was by any means necessary. You want to talk about connecting the dots? There couldn't be no Malcolm X to be able to even say by any means necessary, had it not been for the spirit of a Peter who was like, by any means necessary. I will kill you. I will fight an alligator.
To get to my family. I feel
right?
that.
Get back to my family. And for freedom to be ours together, right? So the humanity of that, the humanity of being able to buck the system to a certain degree. There was a period in the movie where he made it over to the other side, and there was that white, I don't know if he was the captain, and he was like, just put him in the background. And he said, no, I got perseverance. I know what it means to fight the white man. I can do this.
Oh, when he first got to the army. Yep. When he first got to the Union Army.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so there's a power that comes with that. And I just need for people to understand, take the ideation of, or the frustration and the negativity that comes along with, oh, here's another slave movie. We haven't learned enough as a Black community, as a United States collective community, or the world about slavery to not want another slave movie. And so until we cover all of the aspects of slavery, I don't like hearing people say, oh, that's just another slave movie.
Interesting. Okay. I never heard that take on it before, because I have to say, I am one of those people who typically say I don't want another slave movie. So, Sonia, what do you think about this, right? Because that's what Will Smith said. When he was asked, his kids asked him, hey, I don't want you doing another slave movie. He said, this isn't a slave movie. So he did everything you just did. He's looking at the humanity of this person. He's looking at the history of this person. And the main focus of Peter was getting back to his family, what he had to go through to get there. All this is courageous. And I salute this, right?
Yeah.
But how do you think the common person watching this movie is going to take that same stance? Because really, looking at the movie, it's a lot of nigger. It's a lot of subjugation. Like our kids, like having a child, 12, 13, 14 even, watching this movie, do you think they'll be able to get the empowerment out of it? Excuse me, opposed to seeing the brutality, even a white kid maybe seeing the brutality. I think it's a slippery slope.
It is.
Expecting individuals to unpack these movies like that. I think if you're a person that seeks empowerment and you love history and you on the right side of things, you would look at everything you just mentioned. But I don't think everybody is ready to do that mentally.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Says everything we see in this country. So it's a slippery slope creating a movie like that, you know? And how do you think about the black and white thing? What did you think about that?
You know, first off, okay, let me go to that question first. I love the artistry of the movie. Antoine Fuqua, I give him like, oh my goodness, the artistry, the cinematography, the whole presentation of the movie was spectacular. It took like a black and white perspective and it like made it modern day. And so when I see even the interaction of black and white folks in those spaces, it just makes it so real that it's tangible. I can touch it. I can feel it. I can smell what's going on in those places. When I think about the bigger picture of, right, I think that there is a responsibility while, yes, individuals like yourself and I who want to go and make sure that these movies are viewed enough and get enough attention so that they just don't go away and end up on, you know, cable or Netflix or, you know, and then be free for everybody, right? Because these actors and producers and directors, they got to make money too. They got to make their money back, should I say, right? We know the game. And so if we don't patronize these movies while they are available to be patronized in a way of monetizing them, we do ourselves a disservice, because the next time there's a black story to be told, there won't be the backers. And so
I see what you're saying.
It is a slippery slope. And so then comes in my perspective, an opportunity for people like myself who might have a little bit of knowledge of that time period, or we have books that we can make reference to have a conversation around, okay, really and truly, what was his life like, right? Let's break down why this isn't just about slavery. It's during slave period. Yes, we hear all of those things. I just hope that as people, like my kids, they get tired of me sometimes, like, Mama, we really going to see another black something, or we really going to have a conversation. They're going to be mad next week when we do our annual Kwanzaa, because they got to read the book. They got to take out all the stuff, you know, but it gives them an appreciation for the history that went into, the intentionality that went into the creation of these things. And I don't want them to ever take for granted that someone in their past, for example, their grandfather just got here from Texas. Their grandfather is 76 years old. Their grandfather, when he was their age, picked cotton in Texas. He can make direct correlations to what it was like to be on a cotton plantation, even though he didn't grow up during the time of slavery. He is the conduit between